Here's to hugging corners, not cutting them. To grinding away, not grinding to a halt. Here's to those who stay true to the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. From Tallboy Storage to the latest line of extreme grip hand tools, Craftsman is there when it matters.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of Outlaws.
The last two races of the World of Outlaws Craftsman Championship Series have been fantastic. Last time we saw this series, the late model version, it was at Limeland. We saw a fantastic race that Alex Bergeron was able to come out on top. And then just after that, sprint cars, Alex Bergeron repeated at that quarter-mile bull-ring. But tonight, we come to one of the most influential and important dirt tracks in all of North America. We are here at Eldora Motor Speedway for the iRacing World of Outlaws Late Model Craftsman Late Model Championship Series here, being streamed live by RaceSpot TV on iRacing Live and on Dirt Vision. Randy Chineth, Cam Walsh, and Hugo Louis bringing you all the action. And Cam, there's not a lot of other racetracks where I think these guys are going to put it on their list on the schedule and say if there's a particular track I'd like to win at, Eldora is going to be it, just for bragging rights, first time in this series.
Absolutely, Randy. I mean, it's Eldora Speedway, for goodness sake, and you've got the championship standings on your screen right now. Howard Weaver, well, he's actually building a bit of a gap. It's unlike the sprint cars where everything's all tidy, Randy. It seems like we have a more dominant machine, but you know what? Taking a look at the qualifying, seems to me that Howard Weaver is not necessarily going to be one of your fast cars. He's in the top three, but I don't know. And as far as Eldora Speedway goes, it is unique in how you race around this grand old half-mile circuit.
Yeah, definitely is. Eldora can... It's of all the tracks, it's probably one of the most influential for multi-groove racing. Knoxville maybe a little bit more so. Put on great racing in the previous build. We have not, of course, seen it yet on the new build, but same with Eldora, where it's a little bit unknown what we're going to expect. Of course, in real life, you'd expect these cars being up around the top, especially when things slicking off, but late models can often find interesting places to run. But as Cam was saying, talking about the championship standings here, Howard Weaver won, of course, that opening race. He's finished top 5 in the first 2 races, and he currently leads his championship. Nick Cooper second, Dylan Hauser, Alex Bergeron, and Zach Leonardi. Then you have Austin Selman, John Fiddler, Austin Carr, Jacob Leverstein, and Drew Hirschko rounding out your top 10 in those points. I have to say, Howard Weaver has been the standout driver across these 2 series. He's yet to finish worse than 7th place in 5 races.
Yeah, lucky number 7, right? I think for me, Howard Weaver, for the most part, he's normally, he would be one of the first to tell you, I'm a late model guy, I'm a late model guy. And, you know, he does good on the sprint cars. He keeps it together. He keeps his race going. And you know what? Well, we're here in the late models, and we're here at a grand old circuit in Rossburg, Ohio. I'm pretty excited to see what Howard Weaver can do. But you know what? At a track like this, I almost think it's one of those tracks where anything can happen, especially if somebody gets hooked up on that magical inside line whilst everyone rides it outside.
So, as the qualifying timer ticks down to 0, we have your heat races coming at you right now. It is going to be a 3 heat race show, so the top 4 from each race will transfer to the main event, and then the top 12 will transfer from that last chance qualifier into the main event. But let's go down your starting grid for heat race number 1. Alex Bergeron, once again, quickest name on the night. He's having a nice little streak of putting in these fantastic qualifyings. Howard Weaver is going to start second in heat race number 1. Nick Cooper and Matthew McKinney going to be on row number 2. 2. Brandon Schmidt, Mark Molnar are on row 3. Kevin Dedman and Casey Kerwin on row 4. And Adam Elby in that 74 is going to round out the 9-car field for heat race number 1. Have to say Bergeron, Weaver, and Cooper are probably the standouts in this heat race, and they start 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is an absolutely stacked heat. I'm really kind of surprised here. I wonder what the other heats are going to have in store as we're getting ready to pull out on the racing track, as it seems to me that the truck was parked on top of the other cars, but you know what? That can happen. But either way, it's super late models. It's Eldora. I mean, what more could you want, Randy?
I don't know. I'm sure you could ask for something.
That.
Don't answer that as these guys start rolling their way out there. Cam doing a good job keeping me under control, not getting myself into any trouble. The field works their way onto the racetrack for the first of its 2 pace laps. Track looks pretty tacky right now, Cam. I think bottom groove is where you're going to want to be.
Yeah, that should be it. I mean, and as the race goes on, we'll have to see how this goes. I mean, the track is going to be just get gradually more and worn in as we go. And as we go, I mean, more cars are going to be tapping that outside wall and crashing. That inside line is going to come in. So we'll see who goes outside first, but you know what? You never know. Weather's pretty good, though, 79 and 82 on the track.
So cars work the way down the back straight and off towards corners number 3 and 4. And Alex Bergeron, I'm not actually sure how many times we've seen him start one of these races from the pole, is going to get us going. We, of course, saw Alex and Cooper have a fantastic run at Limeland fighting for the win. Alex came out on top. Do we get a bit of battles here coming from the 2 of them? Green flag flies, and Howard Weaver tried to jump it, and he might pay the price as they head into 1 and 2 for the first time. Race leader goes up to the top. Didn't expect that. I expected him to run low, and he's got a lot of speed up there, so maybe I need to learn a little bit more about these late models. But up top in 3 and 4, Howard Weaver's been able to hold on to 2nd. Nick Cooper, I believe, is back to 4th, and they're 3 wide for 5th.
Weaver's on the inside. He got a great run coming off of corner number 4 and then promptly puts it in the outside wall, allowing Matthew McKinney to come inside on the number 9 machine. So that all-important 4th position is Nick Cooper. He's looking comfortable as everyone behind is racing, but Adam Elby is the one on the charge as Kevin Dedman's coming in. It's like these guys are doing the old horseshoe where they go outside in one corner and inside in the next corner. Very interesting how this is all going to work out.
Nick Cooper's going down low. It's important to note you had Howard Weaver and Matt McKinney make a little bit of contact, and they lost a lot of time to your race leader of Alex Bergeron, who's now out clear of the field by a second. Slide back and forth, though. Adam Elby and Nick Cooper, and that was for a transfer spot. Elby got the slide job wrong, got into the outside wall, and he goes from racing for 5th for racing about, 7th or so. He's 3 wide in the back there. I believe that is Mark Molnar and Kevin Dedman as they fight for position. You also have the 14 and Casey Kerwin just on the outside looking in, lurking on that number 35 and Nick Cooper as they head through 3 and 4, coming to 3 to go.
And there goes into the outside wall. Nick Cooper, he straightens it out, and it's going to allow Casey Kerwin to run on the inside. The number 14 dead zone machine does a massive select job, and it doesn't pay off. Nick Cooper's able to get the switch back, but here comes Kerwin.
Casey Kerwin's going to go down to that bottom groove, going to try to slide up. Nick Cooper didn't get that upper line quite right. See him have to really lift out of it. 74 of Adam Elby, he's going to go down to the bottom as well, trying to make a move on Nick Cooper. Maybe a little bit of contact. Had both of them checking up there as Nick Cooper is going to dive down to that bottom groove here in 3 and 4. Can he put a move on Casey Kerwin? No. Way too sideways. They get the white flag here coming in towards corners number 1 and 2. Alex Bergeron still out clear, out in front, but who's going to be the 4th place finisher here that goes directly to that feature event through corners number 3 and 4? Bergeron's going to win, then Weaver and McKinney will round out your top 3, and Casey Kerwin will hold on to that 4th spot. That number 14 car transfers directly to the feature tonight. Cam, we're in for some action if that first heat race is any indicator.
That was amazing. That was wonderful racing. Good, respectful racing, too, as the rest of the field on your screen there. It was Cooper, Dedman, Elby, Molnar, and Schmidt are going to have to fight their way in the last chance qualifier. In this heat, well, I'm seeing popular names. Zach Leonardi, Jacob Leverstein, Austin Carr, Garrett Nabrouge, Tyler DeCarm. This is going to be just as exciting of a second heat. The track's going to be even more worn in, Randy.
Got a lot of big names here, and we'll go down your official starting grid for this second heat race right now. Zach Leonardi is going to be bringing us to green with Jacob Leverstein on the outside of that front row. Randall Carter and Mike McKinney are on row number 2. Drew Hirschko and Austin Carr are going to be on row 3, with Garrett Nieberge and Tyler DuCarm are on row 4, and Jacob Fields is going to round out the 9-car grid. Interesting names in this one. Austin Carr, Drew Hirschko, Garrett Nieberge kind of starting outside that top 4, Cam. I think those guys are going to be looking to work their way forward, and they're more capable to doing it. But that said, we have the names of McKinney and Carter and Leverstein and Leonardi in front of you. It's going to make things, you're going to have your hands full trying to get around them.
Absolutely, and it is all about that magical number 4. It's all right if you finish in the first, second, third, or fourth, as long as you finish in that bracket, and that is going to be a bar room brawl, at least if the first heat had anything to say about it.
So, field works its way through the final half-mile pace lap for heat race number 2. If you're just joining us once again in the format, 3 heat races, top 4 from each heat transfer. Then we're taking about a dozen from the last chance qualifier to throw them into that starting grid for the feature tonight, which will be a total of 50 laps. So it's going to be a good one as these guys work their way in towards 3 and 4. Zach Leonardi in the 24 going to be the one in command of the field, and he's going to get on it. Green flag flies in heat race number 2, and he is clear. And everyone really slow on the reaction time, and Leonardi is cleared through 1 and 2 for the first time. Leverstein is clear, but he gets into the wall up top, and they're going to fan out nearly 3 wide for that second, third spot.
Did people think that Leonardi was going to play a game? I mean, that was about as standard start as you could ever get, and he managed to get 5 car lengths just like that. But everyone else is scrambling. That 4th position is just a mob of late model cars, as Austin Carr is the one that's in the magical number 4 position. He's going to try to move up to 3rd on that inside line. Everybody's running every line 4 wide coming off of corner number 4.
4 wide. Right now it's Austin Carr who holds that 4th spot in the 1. Tyler Ducarme is not very far behind in that number 25 machine. You also have Randall Carter in the mix in 6th. Number 1 of Austin Carr once again going down to the bottom and not there quite yet. He had to get way out of it. Now Austin Carr going to come under attack. Tyler Ducharme going to make a move down low. Not going to happen as we got 1 car behind in the wall. That's Garrett Nieberge. Made a little bit of contact. Able to keep it rolling though. Didn't lose too much time. But this scrap for 4th is still big as Ducarme gets into the outside wall. That's going to check up Randall Carter, and that's going to give that one machine a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and right now it is the car of Austin Carr who is trying to get into that final position here for heat number 2. And you know what? He's pretty much got it because Ducarme and Carter are fighting super hard for 5th position. That's not what you want to do on lap number 6. They got to chase him down. I don't think there's got enough time unless Austin Carr manages to plant that number 1 machine on the outside wall.
So these guys worked their way down the front straight away. Zach Leonardi out to about 0.8 of a second lead here over Jacob Leverstein. Actually, it's over that, closer to 9. Mike McKinney's in that 3rd spot with Austin Carr in 4th. Those drivers all pretty much on their own little island and clear. That one little mistake from Tyler Ducarme about a lap and a half ago really hurt that 25 machine in the 37 and lost him just enough time that being able to transfer was going to be pretty much infinitely difficult. That said, 1 machine of Austin Carr on the white flag lap tags the outside wall in 1 and 2. The 24 Zach Leonardi is going to run the bottom groove in 3 and 4. He's going to win heat race number 2. Jacob Leverstein 2nd, Mike McKinney 3rd, and Austin Carr is going to be able to just hold on for that 4th spot with Tyler Ducarme, Randall Carter, Drew Hirschko, Garrett Nieberge, and Jacob Fields rounding out heat race number 2. A lot more good action in that one, Cam.
Yeah, most certainly, and I think for me the big thing is these races are all going pretty comfortable here, and that's what we want to see. We're not seeing a lot of serious incidents. We've seen some slide jobs, we've seen some excitement for sure, but not super aggressive racing. But you know what, of course they are feeling out the track. Hopefully that can carry over to the consolation and the feature, but we've got heat number 3 ready to rock and roll.
Yep, and of course a lot more big names here in heat race number 3 for the final 8-lap sprint. Duke it out for qualifying spots both for the feature and a last chance qualifier. John Fiddler, Austin Semmelman on row number 1 with Justin Thomas and Virgil Graham on row 2. I think that's one of the better qualifying starts we've seen Justin Thomas get across the first 5 races we've seen in both of these championships. Look for him to maybe be fast. Dylan Hauser and Zach Rounds on row number 3 with Josh Lawton and Chris Brenner are on row 4. And rounding out the tail of this 9-car field for heat race number 3, the 94 of Phil Diaz. Phil's had some sort of sketchy success this season, Cam. There's been a couple times I think he's missed the feature once and made it once. I think he just wants to get a little bit more consistent here and make it 2 in a row, because memory serves, he was in the show at Lima Land and these guys last time out.
Yeah, you certainly want to get in. You want to be comfortable. You do not want to go to that consolation race because anything can happen, especially at Eldora as the pace truck gets ready to pull into the safety of pit lane. Randy, they're coming to you.
John Fiddler getting ready to let them loose for 8 more laps for the final qualifying race of the evening. Well, the final heat of the evening. We still have one more qualifying main, but of course the last heat race. Pace truck on down towards pit road, and John Fiddler wastes no time. Green flag flies. Heat race number 3 is now underway, and they're fanning out 3 wide already. Who is that? That's the 40 in the background. Josh Lawton making moves down low. We got the 42 machine around. The first real big incident we see. The 94 Phil Diaz that may have jinxed him a little bit. He got caught up in that, but it's the 42 of Virgil Graham is going to be the big loser there through 1 and 2.
And Virgil Graham does get turned back around. He's still good as they are running for the final couple of positions here. The car of Philip Diaz is damaged, but they're all trying to slide around each other, which isn't going to help because the battle right now is between Zach Rounds and Joshua Lawton. And Zach Rounds, if I'm not mistaken, no, he was started in 6th. I almost thought he started in the lead there. But yeah, we got at least a decent battle for that 4th position, Randy.
Yeah, that we do. Josh Lawton's doing a good job holding on to it for now, but Zach Rounds wants to change that. The 40 machine makes contact with that outside wall, but able to maintain enough traction. It seems like guys are really struggling hooking up that middle line right now, Cam. I have the cars set up a little bit too loose. We heard last week that in the sprint cars, at least, gearing was really important for those guys. It might be the same here in the late models as John Fiddler gets into the outside wall through 3 and 4. That checked up Austin Selman. Didn't quite have the timing to make a move, and Justin Thomas is now lurking very close to those top 2.
Yeah, I gotta be careful. Don't want to race too hard here. You've got your ticket punched. Last thing you want to do is do what Virgil Graham did. But the battle right now between Zach Rounds and Joshua Lawton is what is exciting me. I think Rounds is just waiting as he absolutely nails the outside wall. Okay, that's going to make him wait a little bit longer. But yeah, I can imagine the differentials, Randy. Very important here. It's not just because of what your gearing is as far as the RPM limiters, but how everything works when you go on throttle and off throttle and how much that swings the car. So we'll see if Zach Rounds can sling that number 28 up to the rear of number 40 and see what he can do.
So through corners number 3 and 4 for the penultimate time. Justin Thomas is going to try the bottom groove on Austin Selman. Doesn't really work, but he wasn't super aggressive with it either. Through 1 and 2 now for the final time. Josh Lawton still needs to be very careful because Zach Rounds is right there. Behind Dylan Hauser gets into the outside wall. That's going to check him up a little bit. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Your top 3 all run the top side. Zach Rounds going to try to make something happen, but no, it's going to be Josh Lawton who's able to hold on for that 4th spot. Zach Rounds very, very close. Just about a 1/10 of a second separated those guys. Dylan Hauser is going to end up 6th with Phil Diaz, Virgil Graham, and Chris Brenner rounding out that 9-car field. So apparently something happened to that 70 car of Chris because he ended up P9. I missed that one, but that's our heat races done and dusted, Cam, and now we have a very busy heat race. 8 cars are going to be transferring here, so it's not quite as intense as we saw in the first couple races where only the top 4 transferred out. You have a little bit more wiggle room to potentially make a mistake here.
Most certainly, and I will say for Joshua Lawton, that was an amazing defense. He did pull to the inside line through 3 and 4. He was able to block off the attack by Zach Rounds, so good on him punching his ticket to the feature, which pushed, of course, Zach to the Constellation race, the B-Main 15 super late models ready to rock and roll here at Eldora. And you want to talk about track wear, Randy. This is going to wear the track. Between all of the heats combined, this is going to wear it more.
Yep, you're going to get 15 cars out there at once, and you're going to run 15 laps. So 15 times 15, do the math. This track's about to get beat up. Starting grid, Nick Cooper and Tyler Ducharme on row number 1. Zach Rounds, Kevin Dedman are on row number 2. Randall Carter and Dylan Hauser on row number 3, with Adam Elby and Drew Hirschko are on row 4. Drew Hirschko starts as the Bubble Boy in this B-Main. Phil Diaz and Mark Molnar on row number 5. Garrett Nieberg and Virgil Graham on row 6. Brandon Schmidt, Jacob Fields on row 7. And Chris Brenner is actually not going to be starting this, so his night is done. So 14 cars duking it out for 8 spots. 6 people are going to be the ones who do not make the feature event tonight, of course, on top of Chris Brenner, who's not rolling off. So these guys rolled through 1 and 2 as they work themselves down the back straightaway. Let's see if anyone can make one of those bottom or lower grooves kind of stick. We've not seen people really be able to do it. Might have to play with the gearing. Pace truck gets ready to duck down on towards pit road. Nick Cooper is getting ready to let him loose. Came so close to winning at Lima Land, and now he has to race his way into the feature. Green flag flies, 15 laps up. Who is going to be happy and who's going to be sad after 15 trips around Eldora Speedway?
And already massive action in the middle of the field as Nick Cooper has been able to pull away pretty comfortably, as well as Tyler DeCarm. DeCarm is almost looking to the inside as they're going 3 wide multiple times throughout the lap here at Eldora. As massive slide on the bottom from Mark Molnar, but nothing comes of it. As he's fighting that 8th position, he gets put on the outside wall. He gets put on his lid.
Big incident there from the 26 and the 97. Both of them end up upside down the back straightaway. These guys are still fighting here. Most of your leaders are through and clear. So Nick Cooper currently leads. DeCarm is second. Dedman, Hauser are third and fourth. Zach rounds out your top 5. Adam Elby is in 6th. Carter in 7th. And Garrett Nieberge is currently the bubble boy. And he has his hands full with 007. Jacob Fields, he's got a license to kill. Going to go down to that bottom line. And nothing going just yet. We got a spinner out in front of them. And big pile up.
It is Adam Albee of the 74 machine. He ended up getting a lovely bite from Randall Carter for that 6th position. Not necessary at all there to be that aggressive when you've already got your ticket punched, and that piled up the cars. Garrett Nieberge and Jacob Fields and Brandon Schmidt all involved in that one.
So these guys continue working their way through. We talked about the fact that anything can happen. The driver who started on the last row of this field, Brandon Schmidt, rolled off 13th. He currently has a transfer spot, Cam. So that just goes to show you need to be patient and really pick your spots when making moves in this race. Like you said, you don't want to be over-aggressive if you're fighting for 3rd or 4th. It's better to just sort of let it go and guarantee yourself a transfer spot in the feature. Yeah, there's technically points up for grabs, but I'd rather guarantee myself a spot in the feature to cash in on more points than really, potentially give something up going for a couple points in a qualifying race.
5th position in the consolation and then 5th position in the feature is a heck of a lot better than just a 9th position in the consolation, because you spun it trying to go for a better position. But meanwhile, Nick Cooper is running pretty strong here, actually. He might have to deal with some lap traffic in the names of Virgil Graham, but everyone seems to be running that high side right now. They're spaced out, which seems to be a fairly healthy thing, I'd have to say, for everyone, as the battle for 8th position is basically going to be non-existent.
Yeah, these guys, the top group is really getting beat up, Cam. We've not seen too many people run the bottom. We saw a little bit in the first heat race, I think for the first couple laps in the second, but in the third and in the first, the opening bit of this, it's not really been usable at all to be able to go down there and carry much speed whatsoever unless you get a big run and throw a Hail Mary slider pretty much. I think, though, for these guys, with about 5 laps left in this last chance qualifier, and of course the 50-lap show that we have for the main event, I think we're really going to see that upper groove get beat right to hell and probably go away at some point.
To heck, yes. I am so excited that we've got a 50-lap feature here. I was kind of worried we might only get 30 times around this lovely half mile, but no, 50 laps. The top groove is basically getting used up in this heat where I can't say it's like whose line is that anyway where nothing else matters. There's a fight for the lead right now, Tyler DeCarm and Nick Cooper. That's going to be pretty exciting, but pretty much everybody is going to be going to the feature that's operating on the circuit right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much the situation at the moment. So that's why you're seeing these guys be so calm and nice with one another. Tyler DeCarm would like to win this race with 2 laps left in this one, but there's no point getting crazy for finishing first versus second. It's only really a difference between starting it on the inside or the outside of a grid spot. Same with Dylan Hauser, who runs 3rd. Everyone's really going to be really calm for this last lap. Those who are guaranteed a spot in the feature. Garrett Nieberge, who runs 8th, he's out there all by himself as well. As Nick Cooper is going to head down the back straightaway for the final time. Fight's going to pick up for second, though. Dylan Hauser's going to throw a move on that 25. It's not going to stick and a hold on to 3rd, but Nick Cooper will win the B main here. DeCarm 2nd, Hauser 3rd, Rounds 4th, Dedman in 5th. Randall Carter in 6th, Brandon Schmidt 7th, and Garrett Nieberge will round out the 8 cars that go directly to the main. And look at these names that do not make it. Virgil Graham, Drew Hirchko, Jacob Fields, Adam Elmy, Mark Molnar, Phil Diaz, and Chris Brenner. Some of the biggest names in this series right there, Cam, are not going to be starting the main event tonight.
No, they're going to be putting them in the trailers. They're going to be loading them up. Now, there is a 2-minute warm-up, so if you hear those lovely I was almost said 410 sprint engines, but no, they're not. These things are, 430s? They're massive engines that they're propelling these 2,200-pound super late models around this circuit. But meanwhile, they're going to get all warmed up, and Randy, I'm getting to get warmed up here because this is going to be pretty darn exciting.
It is. It's going to be a fantastic one. Do not go away. We're going to take a short commercial break while these guys get out there. They're going to have a quick warm-up to get a chance to see what this track is like. Those guys that were in the early heat race have been out there for a while. So we will be back in about a minute and a half. See you then.
Did you know your DirtVision.com account gives you free access to our on-demand video library? From the DirtVision.com homepage, click on Demand Video near the top right of the screen. And from there, countless hours of World of Outlaws footage awaits at your fingertips. Watch every lap of the current World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series season.
Sheldon Hutton looking for a run. Dives low into turn 3. Slide job! Sheldon Hutton shield to the cushion. Johnson turns it back underneath him, but Sheldon leads lap 23.
Or dive into some of the historical options with videos in our Classics section.
He has clear visibility, comes off the fourth turn in the clear, and leads lap number 1.
It's all available free and on demand on DirtVision.com.
The warm-up timer counts down to 0. Cars are about to get off the racetrack and begin gridding. 50 laps of action here at Eldora. And what are we going to be in for? Can Alex Bergeron make it 3 in a row? Is Nick Cooper going to be able to make something happen from the back and get vengeance for what happened a couple weeks ago? Or will we have another winner in this series? Let's find out. Alex Bergeron is in a very good position to go for the hat trick starting on the pole, but he's got Zach Leonardi in the 24 starting on the outside of that front row. John Fiddler and Howard Weaver are going to start on row 2. Howard is the other driver to have won in this series. He won the season opener at Volusia. As I said, he's been very consistent and he looks strong starting P number 4. Jacob Leverstein and Austin Silverman are going to be making up row 3. One of the better qualifying and starting performances for Austin thus far this season, starting up in P6. Beginning of the season got off to a bit of a rough start from him. It's all McKinney blood on row number 4. Matt McKinney and Mike McKinney are going to start 7th and 8th, with Justin Thomas and Casey Kerwin rounding out your top 10. Austin Carr, Josh Lawton are going to make up row number 6, with Nick Cooper and Tyler Ducharme on row 7. Dylan Hauser and Zach Rounds are on row 8. Kevin Dedman and Randall Carter are on row 9, and Brandon Schmidt and Garrett Niebergy will start at the tail end of the field. 20 cars, 50 laps. Cam, what's your prediction here? Who's going to take it?
Randy, it's Eldora. That's not how this works. 438 cubic inches, 2,250 pounds, mind you. I am going to think that we might have a couple of incidents early on that might upset this field, and I would not be surprised if one of our top 5 go through the spin cycle, get themselves sorted out, and have to run through the field. That's going to be interesting to see here. Hopefully we can keep the yellows to a minimum and have a grand old time here in Rossburg.
Down the back straightaway for the final time, Alex Bergeron was strong in the sprint cars when they came here to Eldora. Can he make something happen here in the late models? iRacing safety truck getting ready to duck down to the safety of pit road. And the 12 machine of Alex Bergeron waits, he gets on it, green flag flies, 50 laps on the board, and Leonardi times that start to perfection. Bergeron's going to have to make that bottom work, and he cannot do it. Zach Leonardi's going to lead them down the back straightaway for the first time, as the entire field is pretty much side by side. 24 machine, though, doesn't get it right in 3 and 4. He got into the wall, and Bergeron closed a huge amount through the exit of 3.
I was going to say he had a 3-car lead going into corners over 3 and 4 in the first lap, but he threw that one away, but in on the outside wall. That was all on him, as there's a rut forming right on the entry to 3. There's a rut right where the wall kind of starts taking the turn. That's going to upset these cars. These drivers are going to have to understand that real quick, as it looks to me we got a good old battle going on for the 7th and 6th position between Matthew McKinney and Mike McKinney. So both the McKinneys going at it hard here at lap number 3.
Oh, and one of them gets a little bit of a bump from Casey Kerwin. He's going to take that spot. The Dead Zone Racing driver moves himself up into the 7th spot, doing a good job here working his way forward, up 3 spots in at the opening couple of laps. See the one machine of Austin Carr, he's up a spot as well, running inside the top 10, and pretty much the entire back half of the field side by side is out in front. Things are getting interesting. Alex Bergeron had the lead for the moment, but Zach Leonardi takes it back, and Howard Weaver is there getting aggressive. He's going to sling it down to the bottom on his teammate of Alex Bergeron, going to try to carry that momentum up, and I think he's going to nose into second for now. Will he get him cleared through 1 and 2?
He is going to stick to that bottom line, come hell or high water. Here comes John Fiddler. Fiddler wants some of this action. Weaver, understandably, starts going in a massive slide job from Austin Sullivan, by the way. Mike McKinney is able to easily defend that as the entire field is absolutely on it right now. Mike McKinney tries it again. Austin Sullivan is able to get right on Peru as that inside line seems to be good for one lap. It's actually the leader's lap. Leonardi goes into the outside wall. Alex Bergeron goes in and he makes contact with Howard Weaver.
A little bit of contact for your top 3, top 4. Bergeron able to maintain momentum up top. He get kind of shuffled around, and it was a couple big hits, but I think for the most part, Cam cars are okay, but might have loosened him up just a little bit. Zach Leonardi now is going to have a lead as we go yellow.
Justin Thomas. It is Justin Thomas, the 23 machine. He's gotten suspension damage. He went through a spin cycle, as that was Kevin Dedman and Brandon Schmidt involved in that one. Looks to me like, actually, Schmidt wasn't involved at all. He just went to the outside wall, got turned, went upside down, and his day is going to be done. But that incident with Leonardi and Bergeron, that could have been bad, Randy. That was coming off the exit of 4. Everyone is at the absolute peak of their suspension grip, and Leonardi, he ended up going and rubbing that outside wall. That could have been terrible.
Definitely could have been, and these guys are going to get rolling here, and I believe we'll be in for a double file restart, but that was a bit crazy out in front. I believe we only have Justin Thomas, I believe, is the only car that's going to be off the racetrack, so it's been a pretty decent race here, pretty clean, but things are getting physical. That top groove, Cam, bottom's not fast, but the top is just hard to run right now with as slick as it is, because it's pretty much slickened up almost right up to the outside wall.
For me, what's happening is that outside line, you got to run it like Scott on the pace truck. You have to use the inside line to make the pass, throw the slide, catch the gear, and go, but you can't run the inside line. It'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the race.
So, inside of 40 to go here, as we're going to coming to a restart, the end of lap 11, beginning of lap 12, and Zach Leonardi is going to be starting on the front row, but we saw him pick up that race lead on the opening start when Bergeron wasn't able to quite get the restart he needed. Can Bergeron time the restart? Doesn't think so. Zach Leonardi is going to be clear in towards 1 and 2. Bergeron's going to settle for second. Weaver he's got his hands full with 115 to John Fiddler. Weaver's going to drop back into 4th.
Yeah, I was going to say, Weaver did not get a good run off of that. That inside line seems to be a bit of a death sentence. There's some trouble back in the field. There's the number 2 machine of Dylan Hauser. He ended up getting some rough and tumble with Tyler DeCarm as the entirety of this backfield is absolutely sliding back and forth as Kevin Dedman is going to try an outside pass on Dylan Hauser. Obviously, that's not going to work. The back of the field, all sorts of action.
Yeah, you got the 35 machine and Nick Cooper making moves here. He's kind of slicing back and forth. He made one move on Dylan Hauser, makes another on Tyler Ducharme, and makes both of them stick. So well done there by Cooper, but those two down on the bottom going to sling it way aggressive. The 35 of Cooper's in the wall, and who's that? Dylan Hauser got into it as well. Things are really physical out here in the back. You'd think they'd be running for $1 million. There's a spin. One of the McKinneys is involved, and that was in front of the entire field.
Yeah, what had happened is coming off of corner number 4, Mike McKinney had help from Jacob Leverstein, and McKinney somehow managed to hold it on, but obviously going into 1, I think he was a little incensed at Leverstein. He wasn't able to slow up the car, and I frankly think he might have been saying hello, but he obviously got turned in the rear, and he got turned around, and coming out of the front, boy, oh boy, there was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars looking right at him.
So, field is getting its way back under power and rolling here as we come to the second caution of the night. That 24, Zach Leonardi, has to be pretty happy with himself, Cam. He got that lead on the opening jump of on lap number 1, able to time Alex to perfection, and Alex on that restart wasn't quite able to do so. Might be a little bit of mental games being played there to a certain extent if Leonardi thinks he can hold on to that.
Yeah, and you know what, though? Bergeron has been trying many, many times to get these starts right. He has to deal with restarts all the time. And you know what? I'm going to say, for Bergeron, this is probably one of the first times I have seen somebody else win as far as it goes on the restarts. So for Leonardi, he has got to be proud of that one.
So, through in towards corners number 1 and 2, they're going to go lights out on a safety truck. And we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing, coming to lap number 18. Excuse me, we're coming to the end of lap 18, beginning of lap 19. Let's see if Alex Bergeron can time this restart a little bit better. He did that to Nick Cooper to win at Lima Land, and it was about at this phase of the race when it happened. Can it happen here? On that second row, Howard Weaver has sort of the optimal line in that fourth spot as well. 24 gets on it, and once again, Alex doesn't have the reaction times. Leonardi has the lead in towards 1 and 2, and the 115 to John Fiddler, trying to make something happen underneath both Bergeron and Weaver, but it's not going to happen. A little bit of contact with him in the 14 of Casey Kerwin, who's had a fantastic start.
Yeah, most certainly, and it's that high side right now as far as the restarts go. That is what matters. Everybody going that high side minus Austin Sumlin, who is trying desperately to run at least middle to high. It's not working.
A bit of contact, the 24 machines in the wall. Alex Bergeron pulls alongside, a little bit of contact. Bergeron has the lead, but Weaver has momentum in towards 1 and 2. He's going to try to slide up. He has the top groove, but Bergeron powers down to the inside. The 07 machine so close, Cam, to being able to hold on to that race lead.
And this is the second time we have seen Zach Leonhardi go into that outside wall in corners number 3 and 4. Wasn't able to dance the devil's dance on that outside here at Eldora, and it put him in. Alex Bergeron for the second time now has seen that happen. He was able to capitalize this time. How they held together, Randy, I don't know.
So through 1 and 2, they're going to come. These guys right up against the outside wall. 12 machine of Bergeron gives it a smack. Believes the 115 of Fiddler did in fourth. The 9 machine of Matt McKinney's going to make a move on him. He's going to make that 115 car John Fiddler pay. Fiddler wants to get into the outside wall, as the 07 of Howard Weaver seems to have made a mistake as well, because Bergeron now has about 0.6 of a second, when before he only had a couple hundredths. A little bit of contact off at 2, as we once again go yellow. Big pile up in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I thought Nabaruji was involved in this one. No, this is going to be, I believe, one of McKinney's? No, it was Carter, ended up hitting somebody, then Joshua Lawton, and then Mike McKinney. It was just an accordion effect there, and McKinney got absolutely pushed into that outside wall. I fear his day might be done. No, looks to me like his car is at least decent enough to keep going, so going on him, but he's going to be sitting way back.
Yep, unfortunate there for these guys as we go yellow once again. I think the good thing that's happening here, Cam, is that we're not losing too many cars with these incidents. They're relatively light contacts. They're just kind of, someone's getting spun, maybe getting a little bit of damage, but we haven't gotten any heavy hits here from any of these incidents. We've only seen one car go out of the race, and that was Justin Thomas about 16 laps ago. Everyone else is still pretty much under power and pretty much running good pace.
Yeah, I mean, this is really dancy out there, is the term I will just make up as I will say race control, getting a little bit of a finger wiggle. We're going to go double restart only one more time. That's all they'll get. And Randy, my favorite part of this whole thing, we're only halfway there. This is going to be good. This is why I like we have 50 laps here at Eldora. I'm pretty excited. But let's see here. Leonardi, this is going to be him starting on the inside. We've always seen these guys on the inside not get anywhere. Where is Leonardi going to slot himself in?
Going to be interesting. He's starting down low, as Cam said, halfway here. Hopefully we're not living on a prayer as they roll down the back straightaway, lights out. One more attempt at double file restarts, hoping we can go green. Can Howard Weaver make something happen here to get himself up towards the point? 12 machine of Alex Bergeron starting offline. If Howard can time it, he might have an open gate. 12 car waits. He gets on it. Howard gets a decent restart. Might be able to just make something of this, but no, the 12 car shuts the door. 24 Leonardi trying to open it up down on the bottom. That's not going to work out. He's going to drive spots. John Fiddler going to cycle into third. We got contact here at the tail end. We're going to be going back to single file restarts. Who we got? Randall Carter, Brandon Schmidt, and Nick Cooper all involved.
Yeah, basically, I think a bunch of cars ended up making some contact. Casey Kerwin kind of was a little straight going into the corner there as Tyler DeCarm was going through. That slowed him up, and I believe it was Nick Cooper just reactionary, just a little bit off the throttle, and Kevin Dedman just kind of not drove through him, but he didn't really maybe see that there was a little bit of an accordion effect. It was just enough to send him around. So we're going to go single file restarts now. And you know what? Hey, if that's going to get this ball rolling, Randy, I'm okay with it.
Yep, I think so. So we're going to have a single file restart here, and I believe we'll stay single file to the end. The 20 laps we have left. And I will say, Cam, those sorts of incidents are really easy to have happen when you have a track like this where it's upper groove and everyone's so tight, because if there's one little checkup out in front, that third or fourth car back can't necessarily see that, and so really, the car in front might be able to check up and the next car in line happens, but quite often that fourth, fifth car that's sort of in that accordion, so to speak, usually is going to run into the back of that car that's out in front of them, and there's really not much they can do about it. It's a really common incident to have whenever a top groove is as fast as it is here tonight.
I think it's common enough to see in perhaps other racing, but you know what? When we see, these World Championship guys, you should have that sense by now that there might be something happening. You know what? It's okay to lose a tenth. It's okay to lose 1.5 tenths. Just lifting off the throttle just to make sure everything's A-okay. You're not going to throw yourself in the wall, obviously, but you know what? We'll see as we are about to go green here at Eldora.
So through 3 and 4, where is that 12 machine going to line it up? iRacing safety truck to the safety of pit road, and he gets on a little bit late, and he's going to lead easily across the stripe. 07 of Howard Weaver runs that second spot. Fiddler third, Leonardi fourth, McKinney rounds out your top 5. And everyone's pretty much single file. One machine of Austin Carr goes around down the back. We're yellow again.
I'm bummed that the yellow flag came out because Austin Carr didn't have any contact with anybody. He's got himself circled around. So unfortunate there, but Austin Carr's going to find himself out with the back here. So once again here as these guys
Irwin just kind of got in the back of him.
Yeah, so we're taking a page out of the sprint car book, I guess.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. As you saw that one car of Austin Carr just sort of gets sent around by the 14. It wasn't a hard hit, just enough. And that's the other thing. As slick as that top side is, Cam, when everyone's running it, they put you put both those rear tires basically in the slick stuff. If someone behind you hits you a little bit, brings those rear tires off the ground just a little bit, or even just takes a little weight off them, don't even necessarily have to get them off the dirt. You're pretty much just going to get sent right around.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's one of those situations where the track is as such that these guys are on the brink as it is. Normally with these late models, you get some play. We saw that play in the heats. We've gotten to the point where the top line is so worn in that nothing you can do is going to stop you from going around if you do. So it's one of those things about Eldora. It happens in real life as the lights go out once again, hopefully for the last time, fingers crossed, as we're getting ready to go green again.
15 laps to go is what we're going to be having here on this restart. Now, I said earlier that most of these incidents, I believe, are on 5 or 6 cautions. Now, we've only lost 3 cars in this race, still 17 on track on the lead lap. Brandon Schmidt is 5 laps down and 18th with damage. Same with Josh Lawton, who's 8 laps down and 19th. And Justin Thomas down 25, rounding out the tail end of the field. 12 car, Alex Bergeron in command of the field once again, running right up against that outside wall. Doesn't want to give Howard Weaver any opening whatsoever. And Alex waits. He gets on it. A little bit better reaction this time from Howard. They head in towards corners number 1 and 2. As Alex is going to be relatively safe here. A little bit of a scrape of the wall through 1 and 2. But he's going to open that gap up down the back straightaway on Howard.
Yeah, and Bergeron just seems super comfortable on that high side. Unlike Leonardi, you can actually see Leonardi having to straighten out his machine a couple of times through 3 and 4. Anthony McKinney looking to capitalize on that as Tyler DeCarm looks to get involved in this one, as it looks like we finally have a green here as Howard Weaver is going to be the man for the job to chase down Alex Bergeron.
Will he be able to make anything of this? And will he even be able to get there? Because catching's one thing, passing is entirely another. He reeled him in by 4,000ths of a second that lap, and he's going to need to find some way to do a lot more than that as he heads in towards corners number 3 and 4. John Fiddler as well is in that third spot. Leonardi, a little bit of contact with the outside wall through 3 and 4. That's going to allow Matt McKinney to reel him in just a little bit. You also have Tyler DeCarm just on his tail end as they chase each other through 1 and 2. A little bit of a slider behind. I believe that was the 777 of Leverstein getting a move made on him by the 14 of Casey Kerwin. That 14 car being very aggressive. The 777 throws the move right back, and Casey's going to try to power down in towards 1.
And Casey Kerwin, massive slider, but Leverstein's going to see it. He's going to be able to easily get right on by once again and park it going into 3 and 4. They're going to slide in, and Howard Weaver has been absolutely quick as he is chasing down Alex Bergeron. He has caught Alex Bergeron just like he caught the outside wall going in the back stretch and going into 3 and 4. He's going to have to recover. No, he's in the outside wall again. So apparently the commentator's curse does work on dirt ovals, confirmed.
9/10 of a second now is going to be the gap. It was down to about 2. So Howard Weaver in the 07, I think his objective needs to go from reeling in Alex to holding off that 115 of John Fiddler. He's getting for a solid second place run. 25 car going to get sent around. That's Tyler Ducarme who gets sent in corners number 3 and 4. He was in the process of trying to stick a slide job on who was that. I believe that was Matt McKinney who was up top, and Tyler, he threw it, and I don't know. I don't think he was quite ever going to be clear. I think that may have been a little over aggressive from the 25.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was close enough when he split off. I mean, he basically was going from high to low fully, and that outside line was just enough. I mean, you could see just how much grip McKinney had on that top side line. That put Ducarme around, and you know what? Good on everyone else in the entire field. Nobody else hit him, and he spun in the middle of the circuit. So great job for the rest of this World Championship field to not make contact with Ducarme. So we're going to rack him up one more time.
So field will be getting a restart here. I think the next caution will end it, because with the lights haven't gone out quite yet. It's not, you don't have as many caution laps in the dirt racing as you do on the NASCAR and IndyCar side of things, but still it's about 4 laps is what you're going to get on the average caution. So depending when the lights go out, they should be going this time by. If we get a very quick caution, we might be able to get it back going again, but from here on out, Cam, for the most part, another caution ends it.
Yeah, and that would just be a pity. We've seen great heat racing. We had a pretty decent consolation race. Let's see if we can get a good finish here, and will anyone be able to unthrone or dethrone, whatever the technical language is, Alex Bergeron, as we'll see here, as these guys are racing for cash money, Randy. Got to remember that, and that might just affect their decision-making.
Yep, $17K cash and prizes, and of course $300 to the race winner of this event. Lights are out, so we are going green right here, right now. Howard Weaver gets another chance potentially to make a move after making that mistake. Will he be able to make that happen, or will it be all in the 12 car? Green flag flies. Weaver gets a decent restart, but not a great one. As they head off towards 1 and 2, Howard giving a little bit of wiggle room to that outside wall. Doesn't want to find himself smacking that outside wall with so many cars lined up behind. They head through 3 and 4, come to 3 to go.
And Alex Bergeron, might he have the gap he needs to get the cash as he's running that high side? Will he do what Leonardi did earlier and manage to tap the outside wall at 3 and 4? Looks like he's got it pretty set up, as Weaver doesn't seem to have anything dialed in. John Fiddler's there as well, but here comes Leonardi. One car's almost around. They straighten it out.
It's a 777 of Jacob Leverstein, and there's still a little bit of contact. I think Dylan Hauser is involved in this. You have the 28 as well, as out in front, the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. He's going to get the white flag. 1/2 mile trip here for him. The 07 of Howard Weaver. 4/10 of a second is the gap. Will Alex be able to be picture perfect here for the last quarter of a mile here through 3 and 4 for the final time? 12 machine up top. Weaver tried the bottom because why not? But it's going to be the 12 car of Alex Bergeron who three-peats here at Eldora. The 07 of Howard Weaver going to come home in second, with Fiddler, Leonardi, and McKinney rounding out your top 5.
They're crashing as they cross the line in the back, and the back of the pack there, as not happy about that one, I'm sure. But you know what? They crossed the line. Ducarme, somebody got popped in the air, and it was Randall Carter, the man who managed to lose out on that one. He got spun out literally right in front of the line. He had to spin himself around.
So we're going to go down your post-race results here in just a moment, but that 12 car of Alex Bergeron, he is going to be very, very happy with this one. He goes around to do his usual celebratory shenaniganry. Went in reverse and did reverse Polish victory laps the last time, so I'm curious what he's going to do this time as he brings it down for donuts. And we're going to go down your post-race results from the 50-lap feature here at Eldora. Alex Bergeron in the 12, won at Limeland in the late models 6 weeks ago. Then he came in the sprint cars last week and won, and then now he wins here in the late models once again. So 3 wins out of 6 races for him. He is on an absolute mission right now. Howard Weaver keeps up his string of strong performances as well. He finishes second, should comfortably keep him in the points lead. John Fiddler is in third, Zach Leonardi in fourth, and Matt McKinney rounds out your top 5. Casey Kerwin manages to come home in at 6th. Kevin Dedman goes from 17th up to 7th. Dylan Hauser 15th up to 8th. Austin Selman drops 3 on the night, 6th to 9th. And Mike McKinney loses a couple to round out the tail end of your top 10. Zach Rounds up 5 in the at 11th spot. Jacob Leverstein in 12th. Tyler Ducarme in 13th. Austin Carr in 14th, and Garrett DeBrugy in 15th. Randall Carter in 16th, and Nick Cooper in 17th. These drivers have all finished a lap down. Nick Cooper 3 laps down in 17th. Josh Lawton 20 laps down in 18th. Brandon Schmidt 22 laps down in 19th. And Justin Thomas 42 laps down, rounding out the 20-car field. We're going to do a quick ad, get your post-race interviews coming at you in just a moment, and then we'll be right back. Do not go anywhere on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live, or on Dirt Vision, or on Facebook Live. We'll be right back.
Courage at the mile. What part did courage play in this victory?
Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it shot up on the center track.
Tell you what, there was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Welcome back here to RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live, on Facebook Live, and on Dirt Vision. And well, it was a fantastic and exciting World of Outlaw Craftsman Late Model Championship Series race here at Eldora. And at the end of it, it was the 12 car of Alex Bergeron who brings home the checkered, and he's been on a little bit more than an impressive run. We are going to be stood by with him in just a moment. And now we have him. Alex, what a streak for you. This is 3 in a row for these World of Outlaw Championships, 2 in a row in the late models. And of course, you won at Lima Land in the sprint cars last time out. You're on an absolute tear right now. What have you guys found at VLR to make you so fast?
Nothing different. It's just all about luck, getting a good night, getting a good qualifying lap, and Evolution. I was not on the good stuff, on the good adjustments for qualifying, and I didn't add a good lap in. So, well, the last 2 races we've been good, and I tried everything I could for qualifying, and qualifying pole night again, and won everything. We swept the night, so I'm pretty happy with that. And top 2 for VLR, I think, tonight for the race. So good.
We saw a lot of top line running here. The bottom groove is really only used for slide jobs. What was it about that upper groove? As slick as it got, I would have thought that maybe some people would have gotten a little bit more conservative on the setup and maybe been able to run that bottom or the middle a little bit later on. What keeps people from doing that here at Eldora when the track's like this?
Well, it's a lot about throttle control. I was like piddling it. I was not fully on it, so that's what makes it a bit more stable. There's not much different in the setup. It's just all about getting a good feeling for the car, a good feeling with your throttle pedal. Just get a good exit, get a good grip on exit, and just trying to stay up front and don't let anybody slide job. Like tonight, I think Outward did a slide job there, and I knew I was gonna do it, so I just caught under him and stayed back in the lead. I know Zach there caught the wall, and I couldn't do anything, so I'm sorry to him. Couldn't do anything to avoid it. I tried to go lower, and I just couldn't do it. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
We got Knoxville coming back-to-back here for the next rounds of the World Championships for both of them. Sprint car is going to be here next week, and then the late models 2 weeks after. What's your take on the sprint car capital of the world? Which car do you think you'll be better in and more consistent in there at Knoxville, or with your current run of momentum, do you feel like you're pretty much God tier on everyone right now?
I don't know. I'll try to get as much best results as possible in both of the series. As far as we go right now, I did some good results, so we'll try to go on that way. And I don't know. I didn't do much of try the new tracks on the new build, so I just did Knoxville and Eldora now. So in Lima Land, I think, within the sprint cars, but I didn't do anything else. So we'll see how it goes. We'll put a bit of practice in and try to get another good results for Team VLR and all the guys.
Well, thank you for joining us, Alex. Congratulations to you for another victory here in these World Championship Series. Don't think you'll quite get to the points lead in this one, but you'll be pretty dang close. Who gets it done for you at Team VLR for that number 12?
Well, definitely Outlaw Weaver for a good setup tonight. I know he was close to me. I wish it would have been longer runs so we could have battled together. Definitely good setup, good car again tonight. Like I said, all the guys at VLR, all my sponsors, partners, their collective, racingdude.com. Go check it out, racingdude.com. Meyer Inc. for always being there for us, and their car racing to be on the car, and Bob King Design for an amazing paint scheme. And World of Outlaws for putting this on, and you guys for doing an awesome job every week for broadcasting this, and we always appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you guys putting on a good show, Alex. Good luck to you at Knoxville in the coming weeks.
Thank you, guys.
Well, he's pretty much dominant all night with that 12 car, and he seemed pretty comfortable with that one. But the 07 Howard Weaver, the Tomato Man, comes home in second, and Cam Walsh just stood by with him.
Howard Weaver. He's got Tennessee. I don't even know what that is. It's some kind of alcohol punch bunch.
It's a state.
It's a state.
It's a state.
It's a state. Okay, Tennessee Punch Bunch, the state. Anyways, you came home in second position as we get off this interview. Just wonderfully. Anyways, Howard, you finished in second position. You started in fourth. There's so much more to it. We had a longer race today, 50 laps. I mean, the track got absolutely whooped. But I will say it was entertaining, and you guys put on a good show. How did it feel in the cockpit of that super late model?
Well, I knew it was going to be a cushion dominant like Lana Land was. So this used to be my favorite track. Now probably one of my least favorite, just because where you got to run. But so anytime I can finish second on these last two tracks, getting top fives, I'm pretty happy with it, and to get out of here clean. So it was an eventful race, and a couple times the leaders got together, and if I could have just dodged them a little more, I maybe could have got the lead and held Alex off, but that wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of cautions. Most of it was just kind of people maybe in the mid-pack, back-pack, one car getting turned around, maybe taking a couple of scraps, but for the most part, we didn't really see the gargantuan, pile-ups in the beginning. And a lot of what was happening up front with you guys, you were able to keep everything clean, but it seemed that Leon Hardy was just having some troubles running that high side, and that allowed Bergeron to kind of bump him, and just you trying to get your way through it. I'm just saying here, it was fairly sketchy. How is this going to continue? Like, is this going to continue? Or you're planning on carrying this 2 weeks from now? You expect it to be more of the same, where it is just going to be massive battle after battle?
2 weeks from today, I believe, is Knoxville, and that's one of the really good tracks that we have right now on dirt. So I actually think that'll be a better race as far as side-by-side racing and passes, slide jobs. So I'm actually looking forward to that track. It's probably my favorite on here now. So just surviving Lima Land and Eldora the last 2 weeks with a top five, and then winning the first week, I'm super happy about that. Which Alex has won the last two, and so he's been running well. But I like Knoxville a lot, so I'm actually looking forward to that, and hopefully we survive. But yeah, they kind of were banging on each other up front there, and if I could have got through without contact a few of those, I would have shot to the lead. But it's pretty amazing that we all didn't wreck there a few times. So second place is pretty good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some money for that, for the bank. All right, well, at this point, I got to say, who would you like to give a thanks to? Any of your friends and comrades in arms and states that you would like to give a shout-out to?
Well, I'll shout out Tennessee Punch Bunch. I didn't let you finish on that one, I guess. I just heard Tennessee, so no. And I got to thank School of Racing Graphics. They came on a couple weeks ago, so my car design tonight was by them. Ray Vanderlinden. We started in DTR2 together, Dirt Track Racing 2, like back in 2004. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool to kind of link up with him and get on here. And then I got to thank Team Friday, Race Spot, World of Outlaws. Congrats to Alex on the win, and John Fiddler on third. He ran really well, and he's always super clean, so I trusted him behind me. So, yep, we'll move on to Knoxville. I'm actually looking forward to that one and glad to get these two over with.
All right, well, that's Howard Weaver in his Toyota painted super late model. Speaking of supers and DTR, they also had super dirt modifieds, I'm just saying. Anyways, so Howard Weaver, thanks very much for hopping in with us. Congratulations on your second place, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you, Randy. And Cam.
That is
there it is right there. Howard's True Alliance shows.
Right? So, John Fiddler, do you want to do it, or?
Yeah, I'll talk to John, joined by now the 115. Rounds out the podium. John, it's a pretty quiet race for you up until the feature. You qualified well. You pretty much dominated your heat race from what I recall. But that feature event was absolutely crazy. Tell me that 115's 50-lap trip through that feature at Eldora, because it was insane.
Yeah, for me it was more just trying to stay out of trouble. The leaders in front of me were battling really, really hard, and I was doing everything I could just to keep up with them and hoping that I'd get a chance if they got a little squirrely to get underneath them. But man, most of it was pretty good. I fell back to fifth there. The restarts on the bottom are horrendous here. Really difficult to get back to the top. You just get freight trained on the top, and it's tough to squeeze your way in. And I had a couple good battles with Leonardi, and I know Kerwin a couple times, and just trying to keep my spot, and got lucky to get a podium out of it.
On some of the recent races, we've been seeing some single file restarts. Tyler Hudson's gotten a little bit more involved, and when things start happening, we'll go to the single file to try to clean it up. How's that really helped from your perspective? There's a couple times where, despite the single file restart, people still found a way to get into each other.
Yeah, I don't prefer single file restarts. It worked out for me really well tonight because when he went single file, I was third, so I would have been on the inside, and you don't want to be there, like I said. So I prefer double file. I want to race it out the best that you can, and the most competitive that you can. But I understand. I mean, you got fans, you got to keep happy, so we got to go single file sometimes. It is what it is.
Now, I'm sure most of you dirt guys with the new build and stuff, you probably tested on pretty much all the dirt tracks we have. That's going to include the one coming up at Knoxville. What are your guys' testing and maybe racing some other stuff, maybe some other series or some other cars, maybe official races there at the Sprint Car Capital of the world for the late models? How do the different grooves kind of line up for you? How do you like it compared to the last build? What's your feeling on what we're going to be looking at in a couple weeks' time?
I think that's going to be the best race that you see this year so far. That track, for whatever reason, as long as it's not completely slicked off and then the top's in, you get pretty good two-line racing, and it's pretty competitive no matter where you run on that. There's a couple dominant lines here and there, but it's a fine line to run, and guys miss it every now and then. You got to pick your spots, and I think you're going to see a very, very good race 2 weeks from now.
Thank you for joining us, John. Congratulations to you and that number 115 machine. Who gets it done for you at Elite 7 Racing?
Yeah, I got to thank my teammates. Like you said, Elite 7 Racing, them guys are awesome. You can check us out on Facebook. I got to thank our partners, True Form Race Products. You can check them out on Facebook. Our other partner is the Dirt Million. You can get tickets for that. It's in August. You can check them out at their website, dirtmillion.com. My sponsors are Water Truck Productions. Drew Hirschko does an awesome job on our paints and videos and stuff, and Twitch TV/Fank.
Well, there he is, Mr. John Fiddler. Fantastic podium finish tonight. Cam, it was, let's say, an up-and-down night. A lot of thrills, a lot of spills in this one, but at the end of the day, Bergeron keeps showing why I still think he's the best driver in dirt overall. I think he's the only person to win on both sides of these world championships, and he has multiple wins here in the late models, and I believe, has he wrapped up 2 in the sprint cars yet, or is it just 1? He nearly won in the season opener at Eldora.
Yeah, but I think there was an incident. But anyways, what I will say is that Alex Bergeron has proven that he is quick when it is a high line. Wait till we get to Williams Grove. Well, let's see how he does there, because I'm going to tell you, I have a feeling that it's going to come back in a couple of different track configurations. We'll see how that goes, and I will say, for what it's worth, this last build update, I personally have really enjoyed watching. I love watching the tire tracks getting it on the ground and everything. It was good racing. I'm happy with it. I love that we had a longer feature, too.
Well, I definitely loved it as well, and it was a fantastic race, but that is going to do it for us here on RaceBot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live. The next time you can catch the World of Outlaw Craftsman Championship Series will be the Sprint Cars in 7 days' time. and it'll be on June the 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. They will take to the sprint car capital of the world at Knoxville. Then 1 week after that, you'll have the late models do battle at Knoxville as well. Be sure to tune in on iRacing Live, on Facebook Live, or on Dirt Vision for all of that. But from everyone here that makes these broadcasts possible, shout outs to the World of Outlaws, of course, all the brilliant people at iRacing, everyone here at RaceSpot working behind the scenes along with me, Cam Walsh, T. Louie, and everyone else for all the work they do to make these events possible. We hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.